your presentation. Okay, good morning. This is the time and place for the Planning Hearing Officer for meeting for October 30th, 2013. My name is Vilija Žemaitaitis, and I will be the Planning Hearing Officer for today's hearing. We actually have one case only on today's agenda, and the relevant exhibits are posted on the panels directly behind me. That case is case number PCUP 1322188. It is a conditional use permit to continue the on-site sales, service, and consumption of alcoholic beverages at an existing full-service restaurant located at 1240 South Glendale Avenue. The restaurant's name is Karoon Restaurant. The applicant is Mr. Samuel Aratunian. And I would, if you don't mind, case planner Mr. Brad Collins would be giving us just a short, brief presentation, please.
Sure. Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Žemaitaitis. As mentioned, this is a conditional use permit to continue the on-site sales and service of alcoholic beverages at an existing full-service restaurant. The subject tenant space is located at 1240 South Glendale Avenue. And the property is irregularly shaped. It has frontage on both Glendale Avenue and Mariposa Street, which is to the east of the property. The property has approximately 240 spaces, I believe, on it. Most of the parking spaces, as you can see from the plan, are located in between the two buildings as well as to the east, with access both off of Glendale Avenue and Mariposa. The subject restaurant has been in existence for 16 years, and staff has not received any concerns from the police department, but they have included in the draft conditions their normal conditions of approval. Staff has received one phone call from a neighbor that wanted to remain anonymous, that had concerns about the alcohol being out there and some of the impacts that were seen in the parking lot. But staff has not received any incidents or concern raised by the police department. So staff believes that the 4 findings for the conditional use permit can be met, as well as the 5 additional findings that are required for the alcohol service, sales, and consumption, and is recommending approval based off of the findings and conditions that are attached for you. In addition, staff is making a recommendation to add or expand the existing hours of operation to be what staff considers more similar to what you would see for a full-service restaurant, and to give them more flexibility with their hours, which I believe is what's shown, I think, as 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, and 8 to 11 Friday and Saturday. And that should be in the report. Concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Collins. I might actually direct my questions to the applicant, because the hours of operation that you listed in the staff report being 8 a.m., I believe the restaurant is not even open for business and for the breakfast period. It's only open at specific hours for lunch and dinner. Is that correct?
That's correct, but it would give them the option, if they wanted to be open earlier, they could do that.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and ask the applicant. Please, I do have one speaker card. Mr. Ara Kalfayan, who is speaking on behalf of the applicant. So if you don't mind, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Good morning, hearing officer. My name is Ara Kalfayan, a resident of Glendale and a business owner in Glendale. My address is 343 North Central Avenue, 91203.
Thank you.
I'm here to speak on behalf of the applicant and a business owner, Mr. Sam Aratunian, and his family. They are here, and I can point them. I'm a family friend and a long-time business advocate. Before I start, I would like to hand you some signed petitions in support of the application request for other businesses, owners in the center, neighbors, clients, and friends.
Thank you very much.
The application before you is a request for renewal of an existing conditional use permit for the sale, service, and consumption of alcoholic beverages and public dance at an existing restaurant located at 1240 South Glendale Avenue, Glendale, California 91205. This restaurant has been in place and exact same location for almost 20 years. As a matter of fact, they are waiting to celebrate their 20th year anniversary there. 2 previous conditional use permits have been approved for this establishment. I would like to go through the 4 findings first and then answer the additional questions necessary for approval of this application. How will the proposed use be consistent with the various elements and objectives of general plan? The on-site sale, service, and consumption of alcoholic beverages and public dance are permitted uses in the C1 zone, subject to approval of the conditional use permit, and consistent with the various elements and objectives of the general plan. The establishment has been in existence and operation since the 90s, and the renewal request is consistent and in keeping with the standard operation procedure of existing use and occupancy permit and previously approved CUPs, case number 10559 and case number 9901. Second finding, why will the proposed use and its associated structure and facilities not be detrimental to the public health, safety, or general welfare, or to the environment? The existing use and its associated structures have not proven to be detrimental to the public health, safety, or general welfare, or to the environment of many years. The use and associated structure meet the intent of the zoning ordinance and comply with the use and occupancy permit. The use and establishment have not had any reported negative impact or incident these past years. Similar uses exist in the area and the community and have not proven to be detrimental to the public health, safety, or general welfare, or to the environment. The third finding, why will be the proposed use and facilities not adversely affect or conflict with the adjacent uses or impede the normal development of surrounding property? The existing use and facilities have been in existence for about 20 years and have not adversely affected or conflicted with the adjacent uses or impeded the normal development of surrounding property. The surrounding properties are fully developed and adjacent uses have not been affected or conflicted for years. The use and facility is well situated on site and no substantial evidence was submitted to indicate that the existing use and facility adversely conflict or affect the surrounding property. Fourth finding, explain how adequate public and private facilities such as utilities, landscaping, parking spaces, and traffic circulation measures are will be provided for the proposed use. Adequate public and private facilities exist on site and have not been changed to modified to a lesser degree. The whole site has existing utilities, landscaping, parking spaces, loading and traffic circulation measures that meet code requirements and are adequately provided for the different uses on site. The existing use and facilities have ample previous provisions and meet code requirements. The site has 4 entrances, exits, circulation, and more parking than other sites within the area. Those are 4 required findings, and I will continue to go through the additional 5 questions that must be answered in addition to the 4 findings. If the existing or proposed on-site or off-site uses is located in a census tract with more than the California Department of Alcoholic Beverages Control recommended maximum concentration, how does such use will not intensify or otherwise contribute to the adverse impact on the surrounding area caused by such over-concentration? The existing use will not and has not intensified or contributed to any adverse impacts on the surrounding area throughout these years. The use has been approved, included, and counted in the overall total number of licenses in the census tract. The use and facilities have existed for many years and have not intensified or otherwise negatively contributed to the adverse impact on the surrounding area caused by such overconcentration. The use continues to comply with the city and ABC rules and regulations. The Glendale Police Department has no record of any incident calls or adverse impact caused by this business within the past few years. If the existing or proposed use is located in a crime reporting district with a crime rate which exceeds 20% of city average for Part 1 crimes, as reported by Glendale Police Department, how does such use not tend to encourage or intensify crime within the district? The existing use will not and has not encouraged or intensified crime within the district, and no incident or reported crime is tied in or attributed to the specific existing use and establishment for years. The use and facility have not had any known negative impact on the surrounding area and will continue to comply with the rules and regulations. How will the existing or proposed use not adversely impact any church, public or private school or college, daycare facility, public park, library, hospital, or residential use within the surrounding area? The existing use will not and has not adversely impact any church, public or private school or college, daycare, public park, library, hospital, or residential use within the surrounding area for many years. No negative incident or report regarding this use was submitted. The use will continue to comply with the code requirements and conditions of the CUP and will adhere the state, ABC, and the Glendale Police Department regulations. How will adequate parking and loading facilities be provided for existing or proposed use or other reasonable alternatives satisfy the transportation and parking needs of the existing or proposed use? Adequate parking, loading facilities, and circulation exist and are provided on site. There has been no change to the use and facilities. Parking needs are adequately met and continue to be utilized. The last one is notwithstanding consideration of above criteria 1 to 4, how will the existing or proposed use serve a public necessity or public convenience purpose to the area? The existing use has provided and served a public necessity and public convenience for almost 20 years. For many years, the use has served great meals for many neighboring residents and businesses, helped nonprofit groups and organizations, accommodated public or private officials, joined and served community events, city functions, and continues to be a good neighbor and establishment in the area and the community. The site is very accessible and conveniently located and within the line of public transportation. It is also short walking distance for all directions, and many neighbors have gotten used to walking directly to the establishment for great food and meal. It is for all these facts and reasons that we believe the findings could be made for a strong basis to approve the request for renewal of this application. We hope that you will give us your favorable decision and determination. We have read the staff report and findings and agree with them. We also read the specified conditions, and we will do our best to comply with every of the items. And last but not least, we hope you will grant us 10-year renewal period mentioned in the staff report and recommendation. This will be big help in this downturn economy. Many of the attendees here are basically expressing their support for this application. This concludes the request and presentation. I'm here to answer any questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kalfayan. I noticed that the original certificate of use and occupancy for the restaurant dating back to 1996, I believe that's when the restaurant opened, was for Mr. Samuel Aratunian for Karun Restaurant. And so you, Mr. Aratunian, have been the proprietor for the restaurant since 1996. So for the last, correct,
16 years,
for the last 17 years, actually. So, okay.
Mr. Collins says 16, so we'll go with
16? Okay, so it's 17 years, actually. And then there have been actually four conditional use permits that have
one
been.
or two.
At least according to the staff report, there have been 4. So, yes, and so you were also in operation prior to the 2002 changes to the conditional use permits for restaurants with alcohol sales. So you are allowed by right, or grandfathered in, I should say, not by right, but grandfathered in to have private parties, which I believe that's the restaurant
It's
you're conducting business.
1/3 of it. It's
Okay. So you will be continuing that operation without any changes?
right.
Okay. So essentially, this is just a continuation of the sales, service, and consumption of alcoholic beverages, correct?
Right. No
And
changes.
no other changes. Okay. Now, also, I noticed in the hours of operation, having gone out to the site myself, and it's posted, you're open only from 11 to 2 for most days on for lunch, and then again during the evening hours for dinner. So I believe that that's not changing. You are not open for breakfast. So
But it's nice to have the permission.
now, is there any intention to be open for breakfast, or?
I'm sure he will study, and if there is the request, he will open for breakfast.
Okay.
But at this time, there is no intention.
Okay. All right. I noticed there are a number of individuals in the audience. Would anyone, or thank you very much. I have no other further questions. Anyone else who wishes to come up and speak at this time? No? Okay. So, all right. Well, thank you for coming in support of the project. I believe that's correct. Am I showing? Yes. I see nodding of heads in support of the project. If there are no other speaker cards, I have all the information. I will be taking this case under submission, and a determination will be rendered shortly. The decision letter will go out, so there is a 15-day appeal period from the date of the decision letter. So with that said, I'd like to close the planning hearing officers meeting for October 30th. Thank you very much for coming.